Do you know Plato? Do you know the Allegory of the Cave? What's going on, people? My name is Zulfikar and welcome to my YouTube channel, which is about content designed to make you think and arrive at decisions for yourself so that you are not a victim of the controlled programming of this degenerate society we live in today. So please go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you receive more content like this. Now back to today's video, which is about Plato and the Allegory of the Cave. If you don't know who Plato is, this was a famous Greek philosopher, one of the most famous, living thousands of years ago, and he had this allegory of the cave, which basically what he said was, if you had people inside a cave and behind them was this massive rock or this massive wall, and all you showed them was shadows in front of them, and they saw nothing else, they would believe that those shadows were reality. And if somebody escaped that reality and tried to tell them, hang on a minute, these shadows are not real, there's basically real people, or there's a different reality outside here, outside the cave, there's so much going on, and what you're seeing is just a shadow, it's just a glimpse of it, and basically those people, instead of believing this person that escaped and came back and tried to wake them up, instead of believing them, they would attack them for attacking their reality. So in other words, you could brainwash a people just by dictating their reality, by controlling their reality in terms of showing them one thing and one thing only. Now this is a concept which obviously Plato coined thousands of years ago. It will have obviously be known before his time, it's been known obviously after his time. Now the questions I want you to ask yourself is, if it was available then, do you think people have used that concept and tried to implement it? Do you think people have tried to better that concept? Now think in terms of the advancement in science and technology. We've obviously got a lot smarter, we've got technology that can do a lot more things. Do you think there are people out there that would have used that technology to control your reality, to try and control your perception of reality? What Plato was describing was an early form of the Matrix, basically controlling people's reality, controlling people's perception of reality by only showing them things that you want them to see, and if people grow up only seeing certain things, then it becomes impossible for them to see anything outside of that bubble. So the questions I have for you, in addition to those that I've just asked, is, do you think it's possible that you've been living in a cave of yourself without knowing it? Do you think it's possible for you to have been living in a matrix of a kind without you knowing it? And anytime somebody comes to try and tell you that you're living in a matrix, that you're living in a cave, your reaction will be to laugh at them, to brush them off, which is exactly what Plato predicted would happen when it comes to anybody trying to tell people inside the cave that the reality is not shadows, there's other things out there. And the whole point is, just think about how many millions, billions and trillions of dollars is spent by secret agencies, by governments, in learning how human psychology works, in learning about conditioning, in propaganda, in programming. If they've spent billions and trillions of dollars, don't you think they've probably mastered this subject now? Don't you think they've designed things and tools and technology that will assist them in this endeavor? Of course they have. Of course, there's no denying it. The only people denying it are people that just want to live in a comfortable bubble, and the reason why they want to live in that comfortable bubble, because obviously it's very uncomfortable to come out and find out that all of a sudden you've been living 10, 20, 30, 40 years believing in a way of life which is just a drop in the water of what's really out there. And you see, right now there's a lot of darkness going on around the world, and it's affecting different people in different ways, but essentially one of the things that's happening is that the next generation, our children, are being manipulated to accept a certain reality. So the puppet masters are locking our children in a cave, and they're trying to show our children a version of reality which when they grow up they're not going to be able to see anything else. So all of this nonsense about social distancing, masking up, and all of this fear creating that everyone's a virus carrier, yada yada yada. It's just a continuation of the bullshit programming that my generation grew up with. And when my generation grew up, we came up with the programming that it's dangerous to talk to strangers. Strangers are out there to kill us, to get us. Don't talk to strangers, yada yada yada. And what was the result of that? We grew up with social anxiety. We grew up being scared to go out. We grew up being scared of talking to people, and that is a direct result of the programming that we had when we were children. And the programming that's going on right now for our children today is going to be seen. The impact and the devastation of that programming is going to be seen in 15, 20, 30 years time from now. And that all comes back from this idea of programming somebody's reality by putting them in a cave and showing them only one version of reality and making sure that they don't see anything else, so that when they grow up, even if you try to tell them there's another way, they will not believe it. So my message for this video is read about Plato, read about the Allegory of the cave, read about the trillions and billions of dollars spent on things like Project MK Ultra, on the Project Paperclip. What do you think the Nazis did to brainwash people in Nazi Germany? What happened to all of those Nazi scientists? They didn't get executed, they didn't die, they went somewhere. That's your homework. Find out where they went and find out what happened to all of their studies in brainwashing and controlling behaviour. Now let me know what you think of this video. Drop your comments below. What is your perception of reality? I mean, what is your understanding of the Matrix? And if you have come across Plato's Allegory, what is your understanding of it? Is it possible that we have all been deceived on such a mass scale to perceive reality in a certain way? Or am I just talking nonsense and life is what it is? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you hit subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Take care now. Bye bye.